Beautiful. Oh, yeah, you're doing good. Yeah, you did good. Here. There you go. There you go. Ta-da! So the bigger mark when you look at your back is actually on the right because this is where where you're the most blocked up. Ooh, that was nice.
Is that my foot?
How's your ankle?
Whoa.
Yeah.
That one was huge.
Yeah.
It's like a baseball bat or something like this. Huge. Strong elbow.
The people's baseball bat.
A little tender, feels weird.
Tell me what's going on. Is it neck and shoulders?
Yeah, I know it's from my posture, but it's my neck. It's really stiff.
Okay.
Right here.
In between the shoulder blade, right on the shoulder blade there,
Yeah,
left shoulder blade.
and just my traps. It's just always tight.
And is your work mainly sitting? What's your main? Are you standing, walking around? What's your posture throughout the day typically?
I walk around. I walk.
You're upright, walking around. Okay.
Yeah.
The main thing usually is with the neck is that the roots of our neck are down here in the shoulder blades. So the more, even if we're upright, we can be, if we're looking down a lot, or our phones, or working. Essentially, the head, I think of like the trunk of a tree, and if the tree is leaning over, then the roots down here elevate, and so our posture is a compilation of the position we're in for the most amount of time. And so if we're bent forward a lot of the time, then at the end of the day, we have to do things to try to counter stretch to alleviate that. If we just adjust it and massage it, we can get some temporary relief, but ultimately, exactly like you're saying on your posture, the alignment is what determines that stress. Just relax your shoulders. I'm gonna get a good idea of where center is. Yeah. Actually, your left shoulder is a little high. It's more that your head. Give me a second
my
here.
head's always like
Yep,
this.
your head's tilted left. It's that you're actually.
Like this.
It's like this a little bit. You have a and that's kind of what can be pinching. You have an old injury on the right that then makes your head tilt left, and now we're pinching and hurting this left side, because we're actually on that side too much. Like even how look at your left arm, stay real close to your body. You notice that?
Yeah.
Like there's more of a gap
Yes.
between your left arm and your hip, and your left hip is pretty high here. Left hip is high. So sometimes that happens because, again, we have something hurting on one side, and your body will lift up the hip to alleviate stress on, so you don't have any lower back pain at all, or just nothing.
I don't think so. I don't feel anything.
So what can happen when we're young enough is that our body will just, if I injure something, my body will just go, well, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then you go, ow.
Yeah.
And it's because we're in compensation or avoidance, and so it's like, well, I don't have any back pain, Ed, but you are compensating. And so I want to see if I can figure out what, is making the stress on the lower back that then makes the compensation. So, Is there any pain when you say turn your neck left or right? Is there any pain?
No, there's no pain. It just feels stiff on this
Feels
side.
stiff on the left side when you turn both ways, or just when you turn left?
Even when I turn this way, I can feel it.
Feel it pulling there?
Pulling here. Yeah.
Take a deep breath in for me. Maybe a little sit up for me. Let air all the way out. Exhale. Beautiful. Deep breath in. I got you. Relax your chest. I got you. Exhale. Let all the air out. Here we go. Beautiful. Look at you. Deep breath in. Head back. Exhale. Relax your chest. I got you. All right, good. We'll get it. A little tight there at the top. Yep. Put your hands around your belly for me. Put it right up. It's a little bit of a dance. It's okay. Just like that. Perfect. Take a deep breath in for me. And then exhale and twist. All right, I got you. Exhale. There we go. All right, good. Other side for me. Very good. What we're doing, why are you doing this? I'm checking to see if all the bones are moving. I'm going to see how your spine's working as a team. The SI joints are in your glute, and they're a little tight.
Okay.
And so what that can do is, if these joints here are tight, the lower back will overstress. And when the lower back overstresses, the hips will become unlevel. So it's important to keep the sacroiliac joints working, and that's what we're checking here. All right, hands on your belly. Bring this arm back just a little bit. There we go. Take a deep breath in for me. Then exhale. Just keep twisting, relax, look over the shoulder. There you go. It's okay, very good, okay. On your back for me. Let me see here. I'm just gonna rub here for a second. I'm just gonna take a little bit of massage. When we have injuries, like I said earlier, your body will try to get away from things, and then tension is just sometimes your body trying to protect, areas of injury, or simply because your alignment isn't where it's supposed to be. Now the muscles are tighter.
Okay.
And so I don't really treat symptoms, I treat posture, meaning that if our head's forward from our shoulders, your head's about an inch and a half forward when I looked at you from the side. When the head's forward, it creates more tension in the neck constantly. And so you can rub the neck or massage the neck, but getting the ear over the shoulder is really the most vital thing to permanently fix neck pain or neck tension, or even fix the alignment so that our spine ages evenly. Many times people get to 50, 60, and part of their spine is much older than the rest of their spine. So it's important that we have the right alignment so that our spine ages evenly. I got you. Relax here. Oh, yeah, you're doing good. Yeah, you did good. It's okay.
That was fast.
Yeah, the joints are meant to move, and if they haven't moved and then somebody quickly moves them, it's going to be a little startling because it's like, well, I haven't really needed that part of my neck to function. But if the upper neck, which I'm intending to loosen right now, if the upper neck is working, then the lower neck can't be overworked, and essentially some of the hyperthyroidism and even the tension in your lower neck and shoulders when you turn your neck means that your lower neck is moving too much. And in order to move your lower neck too much, it must mean that another part of your neck, the upper neck, isn't moving enough. And so we'll check that range of motion at the end, and it shouldn't be there because your whole spine's going to work as a team. And then the beautiful thing is, how do we maintain that? And that's through stretching, and we'll show you how to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing great. I'm glad you're here. Just coercing a little bit, but I know you haven't been adjusted in a while, so I'm just trying to loosen it up a little bit before I adjust it. Oh.
Is it worse on this side?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's this side.
Yeah.
Is this the side that's my shoulder sits up more?
This is the side you're pinching. Yeah, this is the side you're pinching. This side's more, say protected. There's a lot of protective tightness in here. Just try to lengthen it out a little bit. Here we go. Keep that chin up. I'm gonna go easy. Here we go. Okay, a little gentle. A little deeper. Here we go. Relax here. There you go. Yeah.
That felt good.
Yeah. Our neck is supposed to have a curve in it called a lordosis, and your lumbar is supposed to have a curve in it also. And these curves allow the weight of our spine to be evenly spread over all the parts of our spine. And when we sit a lot, driving to work, or working, standing, looking down, we lose these curves in our neck and lower back, and nobody really tells us how to value them or how to maintain them. And then we end up with parts of our spine aging unevenly. And so adjusting the spine can't bring back the curve. The only way to bring the curve back is the same way we lost it, through stretching.
Okay.
And so, again, like I said earlier, we make the spine limber so that it's like clay, soft enough to be reshaped.
Makes sense.
Doing good, doing good. So this is the gua sha tool, just a little combing tool. Feels good. Should feel. Sometimes people, as they watch, they go, "You're hurting your skin."
Yeah.
But as you feel it yourself, it's like it's just a nice, gentle combing action. But real quickly, a darker mark comes out. We call that the Shaw, and that's the evidence of the lactic acid. That's part of what you can feel when you turn your neck. When you turned it right and left, you both felt it moving, and the inflammation in there. And so we gotta bring oxygen in from your blood to bind to it, and it'll rinse out. But it's little old injuries in here, or just protective spasms that need to be released. But when you go to them, when you see your family, or you're on the airport, people might look at you and go, "Oh,
I'm gonna go to the beach after this."
All right, I'm just giving you a fair warning. People might, "What's that on your neck? She has shingles. Everybody run!" It's not shingles. It's just lactic acid. Okay, then it should start to feel better, especially as this mark dissipates. So just adjustments in and of themselves cannot change your posture. So ultimately, we're never going to change the alignment like orthodontistry. We can clean the teeth with your adjustments, but we can't change the position the teeth are in. So there's not much long-lasting benefit if we don't aim people back to the right posture, if we don't restore the curves, if we don't try to get their heads back over their shoulders. It'll be, "Ed, my neck felt better for a couple of days, and then it's back again."
Yeah.
And so I think it's the very least understanding how do we limit our body from becoming that old person hunched over forward, Quasimodo, right? Understanding that the front side of the spine has a lot less feeling than the back side, so there's always going to be an inclination or a drift to round forward, and even throughout your day going, Ed's right, I'm looking down too much,
Yeah.
and then the first way to solve a problem is to identify it, and if we're not identifying the problem and telling people, hey, you're looking down too much, then we're never gonna, get to the root cause. But both sides of your neck here, a lot of tension.
So is this like a deep tissue massage kind of with the Dashna?
Yeah, it's a way to help bring a lot of blood into the area. That blood really is what brings oxygen that then allows I got your head. This is the curve I'll show you. Yeah, the neck is supposed to be, I know it
That's crazy.
feels foreign.
Mhm.
If your neck was curved, the weight would be evenly spread. When we go straight, we create pressure points.
Mhm.
Essentially, the lower neck is under extra pressure and the work is being transferred. So this should feel home, not,
It feels wrong.
It feels wrong, right? I got you. Let your chin go up. I know that's part of the. There you gotta let this be okay. It's okay.
I want it to be okay.
You're doing good. It's a journey. If your neck wanted to be here, you wouldn't be here,
Okay.
right? If your neck wanted to be where it belongs, then there wouldn't be tension. The tension's a result of not being in the right position. Stuff I'm thinking about. You ever have any high blood pressure? Have you ever had anything like that checked, or any no palpitations ever? You ever have your heart skipping beats, or do you ever feel stuff like that?
Well, I do have a lot of anxiety because of the hyperthyroidism.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my heart, I have heart palpitations, but no high blood pressure.
Okay.
So,
One thing, I can say is they're all on the same circuit. The nerve that goes to your heart comes right through here.
this is crazy.
So we call it the cardiopulmonary nerve. You can,
Mhm.
you can Google cardiopulmonary nerve. It comes out of nerve roots. It forms from the nerve roots of the first 4 thoracic vertebrae on the left side.
Mhm.
Not the right, but the left side, upper back. So right in the same area that you're pointing to that has tension, that tension can interact with the nerve that goes to your heart. And so essentially palpitations, high blood pressure, our world doesn't connect the dots for people that inflammation of this area can cause organ, system dysfunction.
Okay.
And until it becomes catastrophic, then all of a sudden everybody jumps on board with me and goes, yeah, there's a problem. It's like, well, no, there was a problem when she was telling you that she was feeling some dysfunction. Doing great, right there. Mhm. Okay. The difference between your left and right, this is nice and soft on your right, and then feel the difference right here, the whole left side
I do.
is much tighter. That's actually what's bringing your left hip up. Your body's trying to, I'd say it's really almost in right avoidance. The whole right side is being avoided, and you're young enough that that you're feeling the compensatory pain, but you don't feel the thing that you're avoiding. It hasn't grown big enough that you feel the right side. You're just feeling where the work is going to. If I'm going too hard, please let me know, okay? I'm gonna keep going deeper.
It's okay.
You okay? All right. I'm a very greedy chiropractor, but I don't need to overwhelm you. I'm not here to. I want you to have a good time at the beach. I couldn't move the next day, Dr. Ed. You hurt me so bad.
But it's like a good hurt, right?
Okay, yes. Well, it'll be like going to the gym. Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Like a soreness from being out of shape.
Mhm.
These joints that are tight are, they're not going to exactly embrace you with open arms and go, "Oh, thank you for getting us back to working." They're going to be a little upset, but they need to be a part of the team. They can't, stay quit. They have to get back to work. Right in there, some old injury right in here. This is something happened on the right that made you want to get away from it. It's probably around here. The middle back is supposed to move before the lower back. So the oldest injuries I usually find all in here back when our back used to function properly, meaning that this was the main engine when we're young. Breathe through that, exactly, I know. So the mark is never normal. It only comes out when there's something internally that's been trapped. And as you get gua sha more or get more care, you might see that you don't have any more marks on your back, and it's because your back is now flowing properly, nothing's stagnant or clogged anymore. Okay. Or you might just say, they're not trying hard enough. Eventually, I'm working my butt off and you're just laughing about me. Everything becomes easy. There's no longer any tenderness or apprehension. It's all...
Do you have red marks on your back?
Well,
When you get
I definitely need to be gua sha'd more, so probably.
Yeah.
And I'm bent forward throughout my day, and I do some counter stretching in my day, but definitely I have, my spine is generally clean, but definitely off to the outside, I definitely could be gua sha'd more often. Have you been to Siesta before?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it's the white powder sand beach there.
I know, it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the best beach in Florida.
Yeah, it's up there.
Mhm.
Even the mark is so much bigger on the right. Again, even though the left has got more tension, because the left side actually works, it actually cleans itself. And so the bigger mark, when you look at your back, is actually on the right, because this is where where you're the most blocked up,
Wow.
is here on your right side.
I wouldn't have thought that.
I know, I'm trying to make a mark here on the left, but the abused side actually gets blood flow. Because it's actually working, it actually functions, and so it doesn't have as much stagnation, because it's the actual moving side. Even though it's abused, it's the hurting side, let's say. But so where I find to be the worst spots usually aren't where the patient perceives, because the part that's tight you don't really feel. We don't mechanically, we're not connected up with the areas that are frozen. We only feel the parts that are abused. I feel that knot right there. That's where she was pointing earlier, but there's really not. Yep, I think we found it. And there's the spot. This is the sacroiliac joint, top of the joint right here. Just trying to loosen this.
Is it tight there?
Yeah, when we sitting locks this joint, running locks this joint. Well, it just mainly the sitting, bicycling, stuff like that will lock this joint. Just want to keep it moving. What I felt when I had you on your side and rotated you is that most of your motion wanted to come from your lower back. It didn't want to come from here, and that's it did move, but only after the lower back fully moved. And so, well, aren't you happy yet? It moved. Yeah, but it should be looser than that, and it should be working earlier than what I felt. If this moves last, then essentially the lower back is more apt to being overstressed, and so keeping this in the game as much as possible. All right. Doing good. All right. I got you. See if I can miss any. There it is a little bit. Good. Good. Okay. All right. Ooh. Clunk. Okay, come on. Ooh, yes, that felt nice. There we go, a little bit there. I got your leg, I got you. Ooh, that was nice.
Is that my foot?
How's your ankle? Your ankle, I got you. Good, very nice. Yeah. All right, so there's one side of your neck there. Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, right. But notice the right side, it's definitely more on this right side.
Mhm.
And there's a little bit up there in the attachments.
Is that where it was higher at?
So the left
Oh,
side,
on this
the
one.
whole left side's higher, yeah, but this is actually tighter in terms of internally. The older injuries to me are over here. Bring your elbow back into my, there you go, good, there you go. Around here for me. There you go, press back a little bit, press back. There you go, good, yep. All right. Go ahead and tilt your head to the right for me a little bit. Uh-huh, okay, that's okay, there we go. I got you, tilt your head right.
That was the craziest thing.
It'll feel a little weird, yeah, I know, nobody's adjusted your ear before.
It's like it gave my head some space or some air or something.
Go easy. All right. Go ahead and tilt left a little bit. Uh-huh. There we go. Go ahead, tilt left, tilt left. Uh-huh. There you go. Lean back for me a little bit, lean back. Okay. I got you. Relax your arm, relax your
My
legs. Yeah, we're just relax. As we get a little bit out of here. A little bit there. Okay, ready? All right. Yeah, for people, just straight traction. Don't be bent, and everybody wants to just straight pull on. If you ever have any tension in your hands, just
Mhm.
straight traction. Lean back a little bit. Lean back. Okay, good. Relax your elbow. There you go. There you go. There you go. Ta-da! The goal of care is to make the spine limber, and then at the end of the day, half hour before you go to bed, the idea is to lay on your back and then mold this curve back in your neck. And we're trying to target that middle upper neck. Primarily, it's pushing, similar to how I was adjusting your upper neck and pushing on your upper neck. It gets pressure in your upper neck, and we let the head go over it and stretch that upper neck. The care is front loaded with me, and then it becomes transferred to the stretching.
Okay.
But what happens is, if your upper neck is really tight and you try to get on the dental, it might make your lower neck bend too much. So we got to be aware.
Uh-huh.
If it hurts or if it's sore in the upper neck, that's okay. But if you start feeling something in your lower neck or down the arms, got to contact me or got to get somebody to adjust your spine. It's meant to be used in concert with care. There you go. All right, you okay? All right. And they make a bigger version, a more, painful version. But I got you on the. This is the baby, and then they make a bigger one. But the point is that eventually you should be on this guy. But I want to at least preview it to you. This is the lumbar lower.
So this so my chest can sit up?
Correct. Yeah, you want to eventually work all these angles. So you're going to work. So you have your arms, directly above. The idea with back stretching, even on the roller, you'd have it here.
Mm-hmm.
You'd work all these,
Yeah.
all those angles. Yeah, stretch. Let them go to the ground. I know. Breathe. Stretch. Might feel a little weird. Yeah.
It feels good.
Good. Okay. Good. Let that open up. Bring your knees to the right. Yeah. Just.
It's yoga.
Yeah. Just loosening up that middle back. Moves the pressure around.
This feels good right here.
Yeah. They work that right side. Yeah. That's the side that needs it right there. Yeah. That's where that big knot was.
Yeah.
Yep. Go and just check that one more time. So just turn your head left and right. See how that feels? How's that feeling now?
Good.
Yeah. Nice and loose. Yeah. The ear hole should be over the center of your shoulder. Right. Well, not so too far. Right about there. Right about there.
Okay.
Right. And
It feels more comfortable to do this now.
right. You want to have. It's because we spend so much time here that our body doesn't reset back to home. We maintain some of that. And so throughout your work and life, if you can, daggone it, Ed,
Yeah.
you'll start identifying all the times that the chin is tucked. That's the biggest aggravator of all things.
Thank you so
Very
much.
good, very good, very good. Thank you.
You did great.
Thank you.
Something jumping or sneezing or laughing, I'll get a little vibration.
Okay.
A little vibration, a little thing down my hands. Not huge, a little one.
Okay.
And then I get a lot of kinks in this neck. I need to loosen this up.
Okay.
The kinks.
So you had an MRI of your lower back. Did they ever take a picture of your neck? Was anybody interested? Nobody?
Actually, the neck is kind of a new thing. It's like a new 2-year thing.
Okay.
Just started for the past maybe 1 or 2 years.
Okay. Before we keep going on the other ones, I'll go through that symptom. When you increase intra-abdominal pressure, so when you're increasing, when you grunt or strain, or even when you're jumping, the pressure of the discs increases just a a tiny bit, and if that disc pressure increases and the disc is already not where it's supposed to be, it can go out and sort of hit the nerve a little bit. And these nerves, if you extended them farther out, they all the way go out from the lower neck down your arm. I expect to see an age-appropriate disc. You understand? It'd be abnormal to see some discs looking the same as they did when you were 18, right? They haven't aged, and then some discs are older than you are, right? And so that's that uneven aging due to the alignment, right? So just like the alignment of your car tires, if they're not on straight, you wear your tire out unevenly. The alignment of the spine not being curved puts extra accelerated stress on the lower neck, and that's what's causing that symptom. How can you help me, Dr. Ed? 2 ways. We loosen the atlas. The upper cervical is supposed to be your main engine. So for this area to be under that kind of stress, the upper neck must be doing less than it's supposed to be doing to allow this to be doing extra. So we go in and we loosen up the upper neck, and then we start to aim your spine back into that curved position, and we'll talk about that. IT band, and then you think bursitis down the leg.
And this is self-diagnosed.
It's okay.
Both of those.
It's okay.
Those are there. Yeah.
So
I've been having this problem for a long time. So it's real tender here,
Yes, sir.
tender here, super tender here, and then the IT band comes down, and then sometimes my knee will hurt, and then I'll go right away, and then I get it both sides. I have it here, and it's right down. Even right now,
Right.
I touch that right there.
Yeah.
It feels like I've been whacked.
And then you feel down into the feet, so right big toe and ball of the foot is always in pain.
Well, that's a different story. I bent that back a lot in college football, and
Okay.
I've had some people stick needles into the joint to kill it.
Okay.
So I'll have pain right here and here, and it gets really painful just by driving, not walking, driving.
You think from impact, traumas?
I think I've had it bent over a lot over the years.
Okay,
As
I'll
I
check.
played ball in college also.
Okay. So on your MRI, it talks about what they call an anterior listhesis, and what that refers to is a sliding of the vertebrae. So it's happening at L5. I'm just going to use this so you can see it a little easier. But essentially, the vertebrae are all supposed to be stacked. The back of the vertebrae, the front of the vertebrae should always be lined up. And what they're calling a grade 1 is between, they call it 0 to 25%, that the vertebrae is shifted about 25 up to 25% forward of where it's supposed to be. So the holes the nerves go through are made up of one bone from the bottom, makes up like a U shape, and then the other bone from the top. Does that make sense? And that creates the foramen the nerve goes through. So when there's sliding, you get the idea that hole becomes smaller than it's supposed to be as the vertebrae aren't lined up properly. So the ability to hit these nerves increases when there's a sliding force. It's most likely, like I said, you said you play sports a lot in high school, college. Okay, and so those would be a trauma. That would be a hit, a fall, where what they call pars breaks, and that allows the bone to then slide forward, and then the interaction with the nerve happens, and that's going to affect essentially your whole leg. I would say a big part of why you're feeling the glute, thigh, knee.
Honestly though, believe it or not, it's not always hits. Just the car. This may sound strange, but the truck drivers have this problem, I've been told. You sit in a bucket seat that comes like this, like rubbing against it.
Yeah.
I've had to do a lot of driving in my career.
Yeah.
And it's done a toll on these two sides here.
Just pressing in on you.
And this here gets compounded worse just by driving. So I had to do some driving this weekend, and
Yeah.
it compounds worse. And I pull it and I pop it back in the place, and it gets better.
It's tough. What they really should do is do multiple pictures. We should do a picture. They can do motion X-rays, or they can do a flexion extension study. We can see how that's moving. You understand? I'd be curious to see how much that changes. You understand, based on if you're upright, if you're bent forward, what the seat does, or even put you exactly in the position when you're in a seating position driving. This might change. You're saying the position of that might slide worse, or gets better or worse based on the position you're in. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't move much, then it could be something pressuring in your thigh. It could be the hip. The actual hip joint could need some care. My default is that even the hip socket, if there was bursitis in the hip or the IT band, all of that is under the control of these nerves in the lower back. So my default is to clean the spine first, see what lingers. If something's lingering, then we start going into the hip, and maybe there could be something in the hip. But
I think that's a safe approach.
Ultimately, the sciatic nerve, which is made up of 5 nerve roots, 3 sacral and 2 lumbar, supplies 75% of the neurological upkeep of your leg. Meaning if that nerve is hit, then the leg will atrophy, will hurt. pain, and the kind of even the nondescript pain, if it hurts in an area, that's more nerve usually. If it's actually the hip, it'd be one spot, If it's kind of an area, it can be more usually the nerve is, because nerve controls what we call a dermatome, or an area of the skin.
So I have a combination of TFL pain here, and then I have QL pain also on occasion, and they get to be tighter than the normal person. So you get the combination of QL, TFL, IT syndrome, all that stuff is a little combination.
Tensor fasciae lata and quadratus lumborum, the muscles are trying to protect, right? When you have an injury to a nerve, it's very common. So the quadratus lumborum goes from the iliac crest to the 12th rib up here, and that muscle will, so right about here, will hold this area stabilized, almost like a back brace. It's trying to immobilize. The TFL is controlled, again, by these nerves in your lower back. So when we hit a nerve, it's common for the muscles to get tasered. And so they get tight because we got nerve pressure. And so disc injury occupies the space that shouldn't be occupied by anything. We start hitting this nerve. Tips high. So your body's it's trying to take pressure off the right leg. So when your left hip comes up, the holes the nerves go through on the right get larger. Your body will try to unlevel or compensate and move things around to find relief. Chiropractors get so focused on getting the ear back, but we don't want it to be military either. We want the ear to be over the shoulder and there be a curve in the neck, because the military neck is still going to suffer from the ladder effect, where all the weight, that makes sense? If it's just straight, we still beat up the lower neck.
I got a real flat, straight neck right now, right?
It's pretty straight. I think
Is it a little too straight, maybe?
You're not forward, but we're just straight.
Yeah, in the sense it's not having that curve, is what you're saying.
It's like an arch. It allows the weight to be evenly distributed. So the lower neck, that sensation down your arms, I would say is a big part of too much stress going on the lower neck, upper neck being tight. I want your middle back feeling like this.
Yeah.
I believe that if your middle back was soft and if your upper neck was soft, that the ability to overstress the lower back is very hard to do. You understand? It's hard to isolate and damage this if your middle back is supple.
Yeah.
And the process of taking a middle back, and I'm going to evaluate you in 1 second, if it's stiff in the middle back, well, that's the reason for why this happened. Because when you were playing football or when you're sitting in a car, if the middle back is frozen, then it's easy for the lower back to be overstressed. And I believe that the focus should be away from the lower back in leaving it alone in some sense. It's overstressed, it's overworked, and it can't be manipulated into a better position. It just needs to be left alone. Let the jaw relax. Let the jaw relax. No sound. Just let the air out. Exhale. There we go. Deep breath in. I got you. Deep breath in. Let the chest relax. I got you. Beautiful. Deep breath in. One more. Very good. Exhale. Yeah, you're frozen there. Okay. All right. Not too bad. I want more. Deep breath in. I'm going to start up here, middle back, exhale. Good, I got you. All right, good, a little bit. Exhale. Good, other side for me, good. Breathe, exhale. Good. All right, good, face up for me. All right, way off to the right, okay. Okay. Yeah, we gotta get this up here. Right there.
Yeah, it's actually really tender right there too, you know that?
Yes, sir.
Something's messed up.
45 degrees of motion each way should initially happen from this joint, meaning that the lower neck should not move at all until the upper neck has fully utilized itself. And so the loss of curve inverts the mobility, meaning that the lower neck initiates rotation and the upper neck ends the rotation. And so we have to restore the suppleness. There shouldn't be any tenderness, no tightness.
It's tender there.
Yes, sir.
It's
Yeah.
tight and tender there.
We have to work.
Yeah, it's messed up, in other words.
Yeah. It's
Technical.
Your main engine, your main engine needs to be, running properly, meaning that it's just effortless for me to ask this to bend. This side's not nearly as tight.
No, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell just by
Yeah.
how it feels
Yeah.
when you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Really easy. Just this top guy a little bit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That one was huge.
Yeah. How's the atlases? Just the atlas. E.J. Palmer and what really his dad, D.D. Palmer, were the first to explain that nerve pressure causes disease. Before that, osteopathy started by Andrew Still. They believed it was a circulatory problem, that all disease came from poor blood flow. But the circulatory system is still at the mercy of the nervous system. The nervous system controls the blood vessels. So while, yes, areas that don't have blood flow can cause problems or have problems with them, it's still ultimately the nerves that are the controllers. Just this top kind a little bit. Good, there you go, good, yeah. Nice, yeah. Not trying to move every bone. Get the idea? We're not trying to, my goal with the neck adjustment is to not simply see how many cracks I can get out of your neck. My goal is to adjust this without moving this, right? See, if I adjust what's tight and I adjust what's loose, do you see how I've balanced it? You have a favoritism of tilting your head away from this injury. I would call this an injury here. It creates this. Your head tilts left to get away from this joint that hurts. We call that antalgia. Anta means away from, algia means pain. So an antalgic posture is one that's away from pain. Your body tries to find a position of comfort, and this is all subconscious. You don't even, that's why I check posture at the beginning, because what your posture shows, it shows where you're leaning away from, right? It shows the areas that your body doesn't want to, compress or touch or utilize. It took chiropractors about 100 years to realize that you can't permanently change the position of a bone by adjusting it. We have to stretch the rubber bands that wrap the spine, called ligaments. There it is, good, yeah, move a little bit more there. And we have to hold your neck in this curved position. And the more time that we place the neck in the curved position, the more your body will retain it. So spinal cord is an extension of your brain attached to your tailbone. When the curves in the spine go straight, the cord is held taut like a rope. And the ability for it to be hit by an anterior listhesis or by a disc vastly increases, if that makes sense, when the cord has no give. That makes sense? So getting the curve in your neck can alleviate lower back pain or lower back symptoms. That makes sense? Or leg symptoms. That all is connected because of the total, the rigidity of the cord is changed by getting the curves back to the spine. So again, this is why B.J. Palmer focused so much on the neck, and they just didn't fully understand that you have to affect the ligaments, that the rubber bands have to be stretched. And so essentially the adjustment phase of the visit is to make the spine willing to accept the stretching. See right there. Some people come in here and I feel like I have to not only replace the sod, but I have to install an irrigation system. I feel like your back, all I have to do is just put new sod down. You understand?
Yeah,
some people come. Yeah.
I really enjoy this. I just have happened to do some crazy things in my life.
Yeah, you already have the circulation. The circulation is here. I just need to put new sod down so the grass will grow. See, the arteries have muscles in them. Veins don't, right? Veins have 2 layers. Arteries have 3 layers. That tunica interna, externa, and a tunica media. The media is the muscle. That's how your blood pressure is regulated by your arteries. They dilate or constrict, and that's how your pressure is controlled. And so just like a skeletal muscle, that muscle in the artery can atrophy. It can weaken, and its ability to push blood into tight regions, that makes sense. If a muscle is really tight, the arteries have to push harder to perfuse the tissue. And so if you have postural spasms or injuries causing tightness, I find that muscle in the artery doesn't have enough power, and so the area eventually just becomes dirty, let's call it, because it can't be cleaned out by the circulatory system. So 2 ways to fix it. 1, reduce the amount of, let's say, stiffness in the area, making it easier for the blood to get in there. And then 2, by working on the area, you stimulate that muscle, strengthen the muscle in the artery. And then this is the thoracic outlet down here. And so we'll work on this more face down in a second, but pushing this rib down, this is a component of how it's easy to hit the wires that go down in your hands. So the more we get this rib down, we'll work on this in a second, but right there. That's the first rib that needs to go down.
I'm worried about this one.
That's
It's messed up there.
That's the one you're pinching.
Right there, I can feel.
Yes.
Right where you put the finger, it has like an extra pain right there.
Yeah, because you're in right.
It's extra painful right there.
Because you're in right avoidance, you're pinching this side. The left lower gets pinched because you're avoiding the right upper part of your neck, the left lower is under more compression.
Yeah, where you're, right?
Yes,
And there was, it's actually, oh yeah, right there.
Right there, yeah.
That's like extra painful.
He's like, stop touching it.
That's the spot.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's the spot.
It's really the spot because, see, do you see how if we get you off the left side, this won't be so inflamed. It's because of your right avoidance that makes this so upset.
Yeah, that's the spot right there. I can feel it all the way to my head.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it to my forehead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was trying to compress that, open up this channel a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, real quickly, right where you're, like I said, there's a big bruise right here. I'll show you. I'll take a picture of it and I'll show it to you. But the soft tissue is inflamed. This is the soft tissue component that needs to be cleaned out. Just for the viewer, I mean, like I said, that didn't hurt when I did that, right? That was pretty easy, right?
What's that?
This, right, exactly.
What's that? The
The
blade?
combing, yeah, it doesn't.
Nah, the blade's all right.
Some people will go, "Oh my gosh, you're filleting him," and I'm like, "No, it's meant to be pretty gentle."
No, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, when I show you your back, you're gonna might be a little shocked.
That's all right.
Right there, it's all.
I've been through worse.
Yeah, Epsom salt would be wonderful if you can soak. I don't know, just either a compress. You can take some salt in a cup, put it right on these areas, right in the lower neck, shoulder, or bathtub. Or you can just do a compress and put like a salt paper towel right over it when you get home. The faster we can get rid of these marks, I'll take a picture in a second and show you. The faster you're going to feel better. Is this bruising in here is at least half of the symptom of why you're feeling that into your fingers. Is just this bruising in here.
Yeah.
And the nerves are traveling, and they're being chemically irritated along with disc. See where the neck, where the skin creases are also where the vertebrae.
Yeah.
And your neck doesn't bend as much up here as it wants to bend here. So we're trying. That's why I worked on your upper neck,
Yeah.
and then take the stress off that. There we go. All this soreness has got to be evicted. There's no. I'm moving in. This is moving out. No soreness in here. My goal is, like a trainer, to push you without overwhelming you. If I'm going too hard, please let me know it, but I am very greedy.
No, it's all right. That's
Okay.
tender right in there, though.
Okay, I get it. If it's too much, please let me know.
No, it's all right. It's
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
You know. Oh, yeah.
I am greedy.
Are you using your elbow?
Yes,
or
sir.
What are you doing?
Elbow, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So like a baseball bat or something like that. You had a strong elbow.
The people's baseball bat.
That's really tender right
Yes, sir.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Right in there's real tender. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you abuse this side because you're in right avoidance. The right side of your neck is being avoided. That all comes from that right atlas. And then your left side is under extra stress. Probably something like 60-40. The left side of your back does, 60% of the work here as the right side's being, avoided. Yeah, right there. Okay.
So I guess I'll be sore after this, no? Or
Yes.
not?
Yes, sir. Any area that isn't moving, that I get moving, is gonna not potentially like me very much. We restore the functionality to parts of your back that have been offline. It's like muscles that are out of shape, and you go to the gym and do a big workout, and then those muscles are sore because they're not used to the workout that you put them through. In the same way, these joints haven't been working the way they're supposed to. And as we get them functioning properly, they're going to be a little like, hey, what's going on here? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, it doesn't like, it's weird, it doesn't really hurt as much as the
Mm-hmm. Just traditionally, when you've had your heart or blood pressure checked, how is it? Usually pretty good, or they usually
My
say
blood
anything?
pressure?
Mhm.
It's okay.
The nerves that go to your heart come from right in this section here. And so inflammation of the upper back on the left side will cause elevated blood pressure. And our world doesn't connect the dots for people that the health of the upper back and the health of your heart are connected. Yeah, this side compresses so much easier than the other side. We got work to do on that left side. You call it the cardiopulmonary nerve in anatomy, is the nerve that is the sympathetic nerve to your heart. It's made up of nerve roots from the first, second, third, and fourth thoracic nerves on the left side. And so inflammation of that area is going to have the capability of irritating that nerve. And, how many people do you know are sore in their upper back? A lot. How many people have high blood pressure? A lot. And so it's not a coincidence that inflammation in the upper back is common, forward head posture is common, straight necks are common, and that heart symptoms can be, I find they're all in the same circuit. Like a breaker in your garage that goes to your kitchen, and the stove and the microwave and the dishwasher all in the same circuit. So if you hit that one breaker, all of them turn off. And so the nerves that leave your spinal column don't just control the joints and the muscles, they also control the viscera, the organs.
I think like that whole, my lats and my multifidus muscles are perpetually acting tight. Like for example, if I go to the gym and I lift weights and I do lat pull downs, the next day, guarantee my lower back starts hurting.
Yeah,
I'm doing lat pull downs.
because that's locking this. That's all. Any lat pull down, the lats attach at T12. Your trap attaches at T12. Quadratus lumborum attaches at T12. The more this locks, the more this is gonna.
So what happens is I do a bunch of lat pull downs.
Yes, sir.
I'll feel it right in here the next day, and,
Yes,
and then I have to do all kinds of stretches, all kinds of lat stretches to get rid of it.
It's the QL right in here. See if I can release some of that tension in here for you.
Yeah, that QBOS.
Yeah, right there's a little bit on the attachment there.
It definitely feels like it's loosening right now. I can actually even feel it.
Mm-hmm.
My spine feels different right now.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like you could just go.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm about to do when we're done.
It feels like it's just gonna go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Unlocking you.
It feels like it's ready to be released almost.
Mm-hmm. A little bit here on the QL here. Yeah. You need oxygen to contract a muscle. You also need oxygen to relax a muscle. So when an area gets super tight, it won't release itself. You need to actually drive blood into the area to give it the tools so that it can relax. It won't just. That's part of why we're supposed to get a hot shower after we work out, right? Not just so we don't get the lactic acid out, but also that we drive oxygen in to allow the tissue to now relax so it doesn't stay contracted after a workout. Sometimes piriformis gets a lot of press. Glute medius gets a lot of press. These muscles can interact with the nerve that travels down your leg. So tightness in here.
That glute medius does all kinds of things I notice.
Mhm.
Especially, it's really good to work it out. And lift with it really relieves pain.
Right in there, yeah. Yeah, you gotta release that. getting pressure off the lower back is paramount. But then like I said earlier, you need oxygen to relax the muscle, so sometimes you do need to go into the actual area, chiropractor, and actually release. Even though you've done your job as a chiropractor of taking the stress off the lower back, you still need to go into the glute to release the contraction. It won't self-relax. If there's no blood flow and the area is in a spasm, you need to drive oxygen into it so it can relax. Anyway, that's it.
Does that seem tight or weird? Or
Is it
normal?
Not, is it not right there? I would say abnormal, but just for an athlete, there's a level of, just I call it like cleaning that's required. You're an athlete, you need to go to a car mechanic more often than a non-athlete. If you're going to be doing deadlifts and lat pulls, it's like you're off-roading your car. It needs to have the suspension checked out more often. It's like, these are suspension joints in here. These are like tie rod ends, and if they're supposed to be rubber gaskets, and the discs represent the rubber. They're cartilage that are supposed to prevent the things that are sensitive from touching each other. And so but that rubber is like needs silicone grease. It needs needs lubrication, needs oil from the blood flow, and so it tends to get dried out if it doesn't have any circulation, if it's tight. So it needs like a little like Tin Man from Wizard of Oz, little oil can of. So yes, the areas need to be rinsed out a little bit.
Right there seems like there's a nerve there, like something
Yep.
runs there.
Yes, sir. Yep.
That seems always been sensitive lately, even on my waist.
The sciatic nerve. The sciatic nerve travels right through here. This is the muscles can interact with the nerve. So you can't have any soreness in these muscles. It's like the nerve had to have a path down to the leg. You understand? And all the muscles that are in its path, if they're contracted and inflamed, they have the ability to irritate the nerve as it journeys down into your leg. And so here's the first bottleneck, the first choke point that the nerve can be aggravated in. So tensor fasciae lata is right next to glute medius. So you have glute medius here, and the muscle, the tensor muscle is right here. That's what interacts with so it's all in the same circuit here. This is all, all of this tissue here affects that hip.
It's so weird. Why is it right here? I rolled it out. You see right here? Crazy tender. It's like I've been hit with a bat.
This is the back of the socket here. But
Where
most
it
commonly,
right here. It doesn't hurt there at all. And it's really tender on the right side.
there's a little bit coming out, but it's L5. What happens is when the nerve is upset, the health of this tissue, it becomes a hip problem. I'm not denying there might be something in here, but it's still all ultimately due to the lower back.
Yes, you breathe out right now.
Yeah.
It's a little tender now.
Well, if you're doing deadlifts and squats, you're pulling on these, right? These are anchor points.
I'm trying to maintain my muscle mass, so it's.
Well,
I
if
do all kinds of lifting. I'm trying to maintain it.
like you were saying earlier to me that when 14 years ago or so, they wanted to put a plate in here. My point is that everybody wants to do stuff here. This pain that you're describing here is not one that the medical world usually will pick on. Do you understand? They're not going to look at this and go, okay, let's do something. Everybody still wants to just
Oh, sure. That's
do
where the
stuff
money's
there.
up.
It always is L5
Yep.
is the
Yep.
bottleneck.
Yeah, that's how I think.
And there's a little bit. I would say this is more of a tendonitis here. There's definitely
Yeah, that's some tennis precise or something.
right. I got you. Easy. There we go. Good. A little bit. Good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Easy. Yeah. It just needs time. We gotta hold pressure now. Compress all this out. And every visit we get more and more mobility. Get the idea?
Oh,
It's all,
that's
that
why.
QL down there is all
So it didn't get us red on this side though.
correct.
And you did the same thing.
Yep, the abused side. See, because you're in right avoidance, and you're compressing and inflaming the side more. Yep.
That's where my neck looks weird right there. Yo.
Oh, there you go, nice.
Yeah, this toe
I
here,
understand.
and then a little bit under the ball feet,
Yes, sir.
the real nuisance.
Yeah, we want to work on the misalignment. We call it drop metatarsal. So these are the phalanges, this is the metatarsal. What's happening is your toes are going upwards, and the connection between the toe and the metatarsal, they call it metatarsal drop, and they give metatarsal supports. You want to work on stretching. That's why I'm trying to adjust you. The
I
correct.
kind of spread that thing apart
Correct.
like
You want
that.
to spread them apart, but also curl. You want to work in this direction. Don't do this stuff where this makes it worse. You want to take the toe, pull, and then try to work the toe this direction. The pain will be in here. It's in here because that's the connection between in the joint here that will get inflamed. The more the toe hammers, it goes upwards. You know, like you're saying, after injury many years ago, and so there it is. There we go. We got it. Yeah, it's movable. It just needs some coercion.
Back in the day, they stuck quarters or a picture right in the joint of my top of the joint of my toe when I had foot problems in college with it.
Right, just numb it. Right, I understand. There you go. Yeah, nice. They start here at the bridge of the nose, and then go across the face, above the ear, which we'll check your ear in a second. That's one of the things that can influence. But I believe the right upper part of your neck being the biggest, let's say, instigator of why the sinuses won't drain, and that getting your neck healthy, getting the curve in your neck, is going to help your sinuses. Yeah, there we go.
A little tender, feels weird.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had this done before.
Yeah, you just
This is
wanna-
new.
You just got to work this right here. Here, any tension in your face here, and just there's little lymphatic tubes that don't have a heart, and they are pumped by mobility, and so there can be a clog here. But I find the most common, like you're saying, this is where it drains, goes across the face, above the ear, and then down the back of the neck. And so if it's blocked up here, it'll back up like a toilet all the way back up to our face, and then essentially nasal drip and all that. All right, go ahead and tilt your head to the right for me. Tilt right. Uh-huh. Here we go. And then go ahead and tilt to the right. Uh-huh. Yeah. This helps to unlock the sinuses. Go ahead and tilt left. Tilt left. Uh-huh. And then tilt left. Uh-huh.
Crunchy ears.
It drains over the back, and so if this area back here gets congested or inflamed, it can affect the drain lines. But I believe your biggest culprit, you understand, is up here.
Yeah.
That this area affects, and then it goes all the way to the face. Work on doing 20 minutes total of time, and that's how we're going to stretch your body open. It's not a race, it's a rally. So you head back, and then do a little bit of right rotation, just a little bit.
Like that?
Yeah, and actually just relaxing. You're just not even moving. You're just relaxing your head, using the weight of your head to sink into the den roll, and then just trying to take a nap. You close your eyes and let your head relax. If in doubt, just keep your head straight on it. But my point is that for a small period of time, I would like to get a little extra pressure on the right side of your neck until that knot goes in a little more, and it, like the drawer levels out, and then we just work them both together in. And this is how we mold that curve back in your neck. It takes about 20-minute sessions to start this process of introducing the curve to your neck, along with obviously getting supple, everything unlocked on the table, and they both work together to improve the suppleness
So I should do this every day, or
every day. And end of the day is ideal. Half hour, before you go to bed, kind of like brushing your teeth. You want to place the spine into the right position and then go to sleep. Over time, there actually is a pillow, so they have a thing called a den roll pillow that has a mini version of this in it, and then eventually you'll start with the pillow, and then eventually you actually put this into the pillow, and then...
Yeah, my neck is too straight, kind of, it's like too flat.
Correct. Yes, sir.
I see it in photos even.
Yeah, we gotta work on the curve in your neck. That's really what you're not... The forward head posture is not what you're dealing with. You're mainly dealing with the latter, the ortho is what we call it, which is the loss of cervical lordosis. And then that transfer of stress is happening to your lower neck, and that's making it easy for the you know, you move around and you feel the electrical down your arms.
I wonder if I jump up and down after this, I'll feel it.
When you drive, yeah, I think it should be a little bit less, yeah.
See if I feel it.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, go ahead and take it for a test drive, see how it feels.
Want to do with that?
No, but see how your body feels. I know you wanted to
Oh,
check.
yeah, it feels good.
Yep.
Take it for a test.
Take it for a little.
Yeah. No,
Do
it feels
some
good.
track and fields, but.
Yeah, it feels good.
Just a tiny bit, it's not
Tiny
as
bit?
much.
Yeah,
So,
Try to
and then it went away.
try it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's less.
yeah. I mean,
We're all jumping now.
I can,
See, I can feel, so when I'm doing this like now, I feel a little bit still in my hands.
I can make it, if I put my arms in a certain position, like right like that, I can make it zing. Some
Right.
people,
Maybe it's just, maybe I'm hypersensitive.
like right like this, I can make it zing right here. And it's not so much pathology, it's just some people's nerves are more, but I definitely, want to take stress off your lower neck. There is stress on that area. I think we
Yeah.
can open it up.